poetry,
in,
motion,
she, turn,
her, tender, I, to,
me,
as,
deep,
as any,
ocean,
as,
sweet,
as any, harmony,
but, she,
blinded,
me,
hip,
science,
She blinded me with science.
and
fail, me, in, biology.
Hello, Skyview, and welcome to this episode of Blinding You with Science. This will be the final episode of Season 2, and we have a lot to discuss here at the Tax Labs. Today, we're going to discuss energy and energy resources. First, let's define energy. In science, energy has a different definition than the one we're used to. When they're tired, people usually say, Carl, get up, we have work to do. Carl, get up. Dr. Loopy, I just don't have the energy. But in science, energy has a different meaning. It is a measure of how much work can be done. Everything we do, pushing, pulling, walking, is called work and uses energy to get it done. Some activities, like running, require greater amounts of energy. The human body gets its energy through a fuel we call food. Machines also do work. From the biggest to the smallest. All of them move, turn, push, pull, roll, and help us by doing work. They get their fuel from any number of sources. Oil, electricity, wind, water, and many others. It is important to realize that all the energy on Earth comes from one source originally, the sun. Before we can use the energy from the sun, it needs to go through many changes. Often, when energy is changed, it is moved or transferred from place to place. There are several laws that energy must follow.
Laws like not spitting on the sidewalk?
No, These laws are called the laws of thermodynamics. No! The first law says that energy cannot be created or destroyed. Like Godzilla. It can only be changed from one form to another, moved from one place to another, or converted into mass. Let's try an experiment to see how energy can be transferred. In this experiment, we will demonstrate how energy is transferred from the grapefruit to the orange through the string. First, we will give energy to the grapefruit by swinging it. Notice that after a few moments, the energy transfers up the string, across, down to the orange, and we see that the orange begins to swing.
Cool.
Wow, look how it transfers that energy to that orange.
Oh.
The second law states that all things, mass and energy, tend toward disorder. Kind of like your room, Carl. It starts out neat, but moves gradually towards a state of disorder and disorganization. As the disorganization increases, the room becomes less and less usable. This is the same with energy. The third law states that molecular movement slows and stops as we approach absolute zero, which is minus 459 degrees Fahrenheit. At that temperature, I think we would all stop. Stored energy is called potential energy. Take the marvelous magical minivan, for example. It stores up energy in a spring when you pull it back. When you let it go, the energy does work and it turns the wheels. This is known as kinetic energy. Let's demonstrate. Murphy, Carl, and I have volunteered to shrink and go into the minivan. Charlesetta will remain normal-sized and push the van back, loading it with potential energy. She will then let us go, filling the van with kinetic energy and letting the van jump over a ramp. Ready, Charlesetta?
Ready, Dr. Loopy!
Seatbelts, everyone! Please let this be a normal field trip. With a cruise? No way!
Cruising down on Main Street to a world of energy. A place where we use oil and water, wind, electricity. Dr. Loopy, Carl and Murphy, and Charlesetta too. Driving in a minivan to bring science to you. Potential, kinetic, science is really cool. The marvelous, magical minivan, yeah. Here we are in the minivan, ready to go. Okay, Charlesetta.
Okay, Dr. Loopy. I'm filling the van with potential energy. Here we go.
The energy is now stored in a spring. When Charlesetta releases us, the energy will be converted into kinetic energy, pushing us forward.
Did you say release?
No, not yet!
Okay. Here we go.
Kinetic energy! Kinetic energy! We have said that all energy comes from the sun. And we know now that energy can be changed. But how do we use that energy? Well, we take the materials that have energy stored in them, we change their state, and use the energy that was stored in them. Sound complicated? It's really not, when you know energy can be harnessed from fuels. We divide fuels into renewable, non-renewable, and inexhaustible energy resources. All of these forms have positives and negatives associated with their use. Let's take a look at a few kinds of energy resources. First, some renewable resources. Renewable resources are resources that can be made again through a fairly rapid process. Some examples of renewable resources are hydropower, biomass, wind, and geothermal. Since theoretically we cannot run out of these, they are known as renewable. Hydropower comes from moving water and ocean waves. Hydropower converts energy in flowing water into mechanical or electrical energy. Let's try an experiment. For this experiment, we've built a model of a water wheel.
Wow!
We will take a funnel and some water and pour it over the water wheel and watch what happens. We put the funnel on the top and we're going to pour the water into the funnel. The water in the funnel is potential energy. Once it starts moving through the hose and then hits the water wheel, it will become kinetic energy. Potential to kinetic.
Cool.
If the wheel were hooked up to a device, we could make mechanical or electrical energy. This is the way a hydroelectric dam works. Energy. Biomass is converting living materials to energy through burning. Wood, waste, even garbage can be used in this process. We can see from this chart, biomass use works in a cycle. Bio-waste from food, organic waste, and crops are used in the gasifier. The gasifier produces H2O, which is water, CO2, which is carbon dioxide, which is used by the plants to make oxygen. They also create ash, which can be used to enrich the soil. The problem with renewable resources is that they cannot be easily stored for future use.
Oh man.
Since many renewable resources depend on each other, using them affects the whole system. For example, if we cut down all the trees in a forest for fuel, the animals in the forest will die, and erosion of the soil will start to take place. Another type of fuel is non-renewable. Non-renewable resources accumulate over such a long period of time that they must be thought of as having an eventual end. That is, eventually we could run out. Resources such as oil, coal, and natural gas fall into this category. Oil, coal, and gas formed over millions of years. Many millions of years ago, there were plants and animals much different than they are today. Some lived in shallow oceans or in thick forests and swamps. As they died, some fell and sank to the bottom, where they were covered with water, silt, sand, and dirt. As we learned in our layers lesson, the upper layers press down on the lower layers. The layers of plant and animal remains with the most pressure became oil. Some turned into natural gas. If the remains were closer to the surface, they became coal. These can all be converted and burned to release their stored heat. The biggest problem with non-renewable resources is that eventually they do run out, and we can't make any more. No more will ever be made. When they do run out, another resource must be used. To illustrate the difference between renewable and non-renewable, consider this. Suppose Carl has a box of Skittles. It is the last box of Skittles in the world. Fire destroyed the factory and the recipe, so no more Skittles can ever be made. Once Carl eats the box of Skittles, there will never be any more. If we like Skittles, we need to conserve them and eat a few each day, not all of them at once. The Skittles are a non-renewable resource. However, there is still a factory that makes nerds, and they make them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The supply of nerds is endless, as long as the factory exists. We will always have a supply of nerds. The supply is inexhaustible and renewable. If we think of the sun as our nerd factory, I think you'll see what I'm getting to. Inexhaustible resources cannot be used up. Those include solar power and our water resources. The sun will be with us for millions of years.
Yikes!
And we know from our lesson on the water cycle that all the water we have is all the water we ever will have. The problem with these resources is that they are not distributed evenly. There are places in the world where the sun is not as strong, and places in the world where water is scarce. Question! If you live near a large river, your likely source of energy would be A. Solar, B. Hydroelectric, C. Wind, or D. Walking. Did you get it right? The answer is B. Hydroelectric, because you'd want to take advantage of the water. Question! If you lived in a flat desert climate, what source of energy would you think would be plentiful? Is it A. Solar, B. Running, C. Water, or D. Oil? Did you get it right? The answer is A. Solar, because the sun is shining almost every day in the desert.
Hello, Skyview! Murphy the dog here to bring you this episode of the Justice League of Resources. Woof!
Adventures of the Justice League of Resources with Solar Man. I get my energy from the inexhaustible resource of the sun. Nuclear Woman.
I'm powered by nuclear power! The power of the atom, baby! Yeah!
Electric Flash. Yeah, sure, electricity is a secondary power created by other resources, but hey, everyone loves me. Aquaman! The power of moving water makes me go, it's inexhaustible. Bioman! I'm powered by trees, plants, and garbage. So what? Together they fight the good fight against energy problems worldwide. The Justice League of Resources! We find the League in their headquarters in orbit, high above the Earth. Guys, the alarm signal!
Help us! Help! Help us, please!
It looks like there's an energy vampire attacking the city.
Justice League of Resources, help us! Help!
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go get it! Ah!
You guys just sit here. I can take care of it by myself. I'm Solar Man. I'm inexhaustible. The only thing inexhaustible about you is your ego. See you soon. Away! You know, I just don't like him sometimes. He thinks he's so bright. That's pretty funny. Like bright, like the sun. Yeah, I get it.
Solar, sun power.
Pretty funny. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Solar
Yeah, okay. Ha ha! I shall destroy you all by sucking away your power. Soon the world will be mine. Not if I can help it. I'm Solar Man, powered by the sun. The sun, eh? What happens if I make it cloudy? I'm powerless!
Look, Solar Man thought he could do it by himself, but he couldn't.
Resource Justice League to the rescue! Well, what have we here? The end of you, monster! You seem to be powered by electricity. What would happen if I pulled the plug? No! You can't do that to my friend. I'm powered by water. I call upon a great wave. We're in Nevada, in the desert. No great waves here, pal. Oh, that's right. I'll burn you, you monster. I have the power of biomass. Easily fought. I'll blow it right back at you.
You won't get rid of me so easily. I'm nuclear powered.
You are strong, but you can't do it on your own. I am much too powerful.
Listen, he's right. We can't defeat the energy vampire individually. We have to combine and work as a team.
She's right. Activate our power conservation rings.
In brightest day, in blackest night, we fight for energy and what's right. Conserve, control, and combine our might. Beware our power, the green world's light!
What are you? I am the combination of energy sources, vampire. When the energy resources work together, you can't defeat us. Prepare to meet your doom. Oh no, no! Learning about energy resources is the only way to protect our future. Be wise, study, and do well in school.
Make us proud.
You are the true Justice League of Resources.
Bye.
Goodbye. See you later. Goodbye for now. Well, that wraps up another season of Blinding You with Science. It's not too late to look over those notes, to read a book, or to ask the right questions. Study hard and do well on the tax tests. for Murphy, Charlesetta, Carl, and me. We wish you good luck and see you next year for new episodes of Blinding You with Science!
Poetry.
In.
Motion.
She. Turn.
Her. Hinder. I. To.
Me.
As.
Deep.
As any.
Ocean.
As.
Sweet.
As any. Harmony.
But. She.
Blinded.
Me.
With.
Science.
She blinded me with science.
And.
Fail. Me. In biology.
When. I.
Dancing.
Close to. Her.
Blinding me with science.
Science.
I. Can.
Smell the chemicals.
Blinding me with science.
Science. Science.
But.
It. Poetry.
In.
Motion. And.
When. She.
Her. I. To.
Me.
As.
Deep.
As any.
Ocean.
As.
Sweet.
As any. Harmony.
But. She.
Blinded.
Me.
With.
Science.
She blinded me with science.
And.
Fail. Me. In geometry.
When.
She. Dancing.
Close to.
Me.
Blinding me with science.
Science.
I. Can. Hear. Machinery.
Blinding me with science.
Science.
It.
Poetry.
In.
Motion. And.
Now. She.
Making love to.
Me. The.
Sphere.
Are. In commotion. The. Elements. In.
Harmony.